What's up, everybody? Geekopedia here. Welcome back for another video today. I'm going to be reviewing Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5, developed by Insomniac Games. I'm super excited to get into this. I loved this game. I knew I would, but I didn't think I'd love it as much as I loved it when I played it. So with that said, before we get to the review, though, I want to say I need you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell, or else Venom is going to come to your house, and he's going to bond with you. Now, at first, you'll like the power that the symbiote gives you, but after a while, you realize that the symbiote is messing with your head, and messing with your emotions, and he's pretty much going to turn you into a person that you're not, and it's going to hurt your close relationships with your family and friends, and you don't want that. So, trust me, you don't, so if you want to save yourself from the agony that comes with being bonded with a symbiote, then you better like this video right now. Did you do it? Good. I'm proud of you guys. You made the right choice here, I promise you. So, like I said in my unboxing video, Spider-Man 2 is developed by Insomniac Games and is the sequel to the first mainline game in their series, Marvel's Spider-Man or Spider-Man PS4, and the kind of like spin-off game Spider-Man Miles Morales, which, to be honest, the Miles Morales game acts more like a bridge between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. So, Spider-Man 2, it follows Peter Parker and Miles Morales as a full-time Spider-Man. So in this game, we get two Spider-Men, which I thought that was awesome. Is playing with both Peter and Miles, seeing how they both have completely different skill sets. Like Peter, he has the basic skill set that he had in the first game, and of course, when you get the symbiote, you get a whole new branch of like skills that you can like upgrade and unlock. Then of course with Miles, with his electric powers, or what he calls the Venom Blast, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I love Miles' powers, but I feel like the name is a little misleading, because he calls it his Venom Blast and his, like, Venom Sting, but it has nothing to do with Venom. My friend, suggested, like, it be called Arachno Shock instead, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I kinda like that name. I'm sorry, but I like Arachno Shock. But either way, with that said, Miles was probably my favorite character to play as in this game. And I didn't think I'd say that, because I was really hyped to play as Venom and the symbiote Peter Parker, which I was really excited for that, which they are really good to play as, but Miles is a beast in this game. Like, I loved powering up his, like, blasts and his shock powers, and when he's, like, fighting these different bosses and these, like, grunts that are around the city, I just loved it. Miles is hands down probably my favorite character in this game. Even then, though, Peter has, like, two different skill sets that you can use for him across the game. You have his normal one, which in a way is kind of similar to how you play as Peter in the first Spider-Man game. Then, when he bonds with the Venom symbiote, you get that whole new skill tree where you have, like, these different skills thanks to the symbiote, and he fights a lot more brutally when he has the symbiote. Which, I mean, it's Venom, so obviously that was gonna happen, but dang, just, like, seeing the contrast between ordinary friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to symbiote Spider-Man was just so cool to see. So I really liked that part. That's probably my second favorite part of this game, was the differences between regular Peter Parker and symbiote Peter Parker. Speaking of the symbiote, now, I can't remember if I already said it, but we're gonna get into some spoilers right now, so if you don't want any spoilers, I suggest turning back, but we're gonna get to some spoilers now. I've heard a little mixed reactions to how Venom is portrayed in this game, and I personally liked it. But I do understand why some people are not as happy with it. Obviously, Harry Osborn is Venom in this game. I know there was, like, a little bit of, like, a mystery about who was going to be Venom, because for a while it seemed like, you know, Eddie Brock wasn't going to be in this game, and of course he's not. Eddie Brock is not in this game. There's not even a mention of Eddie Brock. So, it goes more into the Harry Osborn aspect, where the symbiote is actually healing Harry of his sickness that killed his mom. And his dad, Norman Osborn, is using the symbiote as like a way to better Harry's condition. I will admit, there's like a tease in this where we see Harry in the Agent Venom costume, but we only see that for one mission. So I don't know if they were trying to make Harry Agent Venom in this, but that literally just happens once in this whole game. So I feel like that tease kind of came out of nowhere, and it wasn't really needed. I feel like they could have done it like, oh, just have him just walk out as ordinary Venom in that part, but I don't know. I might be speaking because I'm not a huge fan of the Agent Venom stuff from the comics, but I will say the suit was pretty cool when I saw him in it. Then of course, Peter, he gets the symbiote when he is nearly killed by Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven's story in this, it's revealed that Kraven, like, I don't think his disease is, like, name dropped, but it's heavily implied that he has, like, cancer, or, like, some form of cancer. And Kraven, he's looking for his last great hunt, because he doesn't want to die to a sickness. He wants to die, like, as a warrior. He wants to die a warrior's death in the heat of battle. So throughout this game, he's doing everything that he does because he's looking for the perfect adversary that can kill him in battle. And, of course, that turns out to be Venom, which, the scene where we get to play as Venom, not Agent Venom, not Peter Venom, like Harry as, like, Venom himself, that is the best mission in this game. You play as Venom for one mission, and oh my gosh, I was freaking out this whole mission, because you're as Venom, like, bursting your way through Oscorp Tower, killing every Oscorp guard you can find, and then you get outside and you have this big battle with Kraven, and you can just see Kraven's just so excited because he knows he's losing to Venom, and then Venom, like, straight up kills him, and I thought that was just so cool. Like, that whole mission with Venom was awesome. When they add New Game Plus, when they add the New Game Plus to this game, I'm going to replay it just so I can replay that Venom mission, because that's how epic and awesome it was. So, with that, another big thing that I really liked about this game, and I know this is going to be a hot take, was the Mary Jane missions. Now, I know not a lot of people like them, but here's my hot take. I love the Mary Jane missions. I think I loved them in the first game. I loved them in this game. I really like the contrast you have when playing as MJ to playing as one of the Spider-Men, because you see the different contrast between it, where you're one of the Spider-Men, you're, like, super powerful, you're on par with these enemies, but when you're as Mary Jane, you're put into the shoes of your average everyday person, where you don't have these powers. You can't just fight these guys. You have to use your surroundings to your advantage to get yourself to safety or get some crucial information that you need to relay to one of the other Spider-Men. So that's my hot take. I really like the MJ missions, and in here, I think there's a fewer number of MJ missions than the first one was, but they were still there, and I love them. I'm sorry. I love them. I hope they keep them in, like, the next games, because I really do like the MJ missions. There's definitely a lot more suits in this. They're, like, when adding up both Peter and Miles' suits, like, there's a total of 60 suits, and that's counting both the characters' suits, because they both get their own variety of costumes, which I really love. I really love that they get their own variety of costumes. There's not a suit customization, but you can change the colors on specific costumes, which I really like. I really liked this one. I really liked almost every single suit in this game. There were a few that I wasn't a huge fan of, but those were, like, a small group that of, like, one or two costumes. But I massively loved almost every single costume in this game. The vast majority of them I loved. I talked a whole lot about what I loved about this game, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what I don't like about this game. And a few of them are kind of nitpicks. The first one, this one's a really big nitpick. It was the mechanics on how to unlock like photo mode and not photo mode, the camera and the spider app that tells you like the different missions that are going on. So on the PlayStation 5 controller, you have like this big rectangular button. When you press down on the rectangle, you get like the menu, you get the map of like New York, then you get like the skill tree and the different costumes. Well, in this game, you unlocked those by like lightly tapping it to the left to get the spider app, and then you slide it upward to get the camera. And I'm thinking, couldn't they have not like had a where you could just press another button? Like, why not one of the arrow keys on the side of the controller? Because I kid you not, there were times where I'm just sitting there trying my darndest to toggle it left to the right point to where I could unlock the spider app, but I just kept unlocking the map, like the main menu stuff, and it just kept ticking me off, kind of. So I'm sorry, that's kind of a nitpick, and I kind of got it eventually, but I feel like there's some other ways they could have like incorporated that, where it wouldn't just like you had to press it the right way. But that's just me. And another thing, I liked, here's another spoiler, effectively when Venom, like, when Harry becomes Venom, they kind of, like, cause, like, a symbiote uprising where they're turning people into symbiotes. I will admit, that part that's kind of where the story kind of goes down a little bit. Like, it's not horrible, but it's definitely a step down from the rest of the story in the game. Because the rest of the story was top tier. It's just everything when it gets to, like, the symbiote invasion stuff, and that's kind of where it kind of goes down a little bit. And how the symbiotes work, they kind of worked a little bit too much like Kraven's goons. Like, when you're fighting against Kraven's, like, gang of hunters, you're playing, like, you have the normal ones on the ground, then of course you have the ones that are, like, stuck to the walls that are shooting at you. The symbiotes work exactly like that. Like, you have, like, these random symbiotes climbing on walls, just shooting guns at you. And I'm sitting there like, you're symbiotes. Shouldn't you be, like, fighting a little bit more, like, I don't know, savagely than the civilized hunters are? That's just me. It just felt like too much of a, like, reskin of the same mechanics. Then, like, going back to the Venom thing, I know it was a little mixed with, how Venom, like, Harry's being Venom in this game. I personally liked it. It was a lot better than how it was written in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I love the Andrew Garfield movies, but even I will admit how Harry was written in those games, or those movies, were not the best. So definitely how Harry is in this one is definitely a lot better. But I will admit, they kind of turn Harry too much into, like, a villain in the final act of the game than just a misguided villain who was just being, like, manipulated by Venom. Like, they kind of implied that, but then it kind of got a little confusing as to where, okay, is this Harry in control or is this Venom? I hope that makes sense, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, those are the little negatives that I have about this game. The positives, and of course, I gotta say this, Peter gets the anti-Venom suit, which I'm just gonna say, anti-Venom is one of, like, the underrated symbiotes in the comics. I love anti-Venom. I'm so happy they included him in this game. Peter is, like, the official host of anti-Venom, and I thought that was a really creative way for Peter to keep the symbiote skills without, like, coming up with some bogus thing to, like, give him back the symbiote or whatever. And I really liked the arc that Miles and Mr. Negative went through, like Martin Lee. Martin Lee goes through, like, a little redemption arc a little bit in this. Like, he and Miles kind of, like, work together, albeit reluctantly, because Miles, he's still bitter towards Martin Lee, understandably, because Martin Lee killed his dad, Jefferson, in the first game. So, but I really liked the little redemption arc he got. He goes back to prison in the end, and he kind of loses his powers because he's helping Peter, like, purge any of the negative symbiote energy that's still inside his body, and that's what creates anti-venom, which I thought that was kind of creative, I'm not gonna lie. Then, of course, it ends. I was shocked by this ending. Peter retires as Spider-Man. He retires and officially passes the torch over to Miles. So Miles is New York's one and only Spider-Man by the end of this game, and I love it. That makes me beg the question, though. In Spider-Man 3, because let's be honest, they're gonna make Spider-Man 3, okay? They're gonna make Spider-Man 3. I wonder if in that one they'll do, like, Peter, like, comes out of retirement to help Miles, or if Miles will just be, like, just Spider-Man in that game. And of course, there's, like, a little hint about Silk in the end of this game. Like, Cindy Moon, her dad is dating Miles's mom. So, and we get a little tease of Silk in there. So I wonder if, like, Spider-Man 3 will literally have 3 spider people. So that's going to be really interesting to see if they do that. So with that said, this has been my review. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Did you love this game? Did you hate this game? What are your thoughts on this game? Because I loved it. I really did love it. Like I said, Insomniac are up there with Rocksteady Studios when it comes to making awesome superhero video games. So I cannot wait to see what they do next. I know they've been teasing a Venom game, which I think if they do a Venom game, that could be like a nice little bridge between Spider-Man 2 and 3, like how the Miles Morales game was a bridge between 1 and 2. So I think the Venom game could help that a lot. Then, of course, Spider-Man 3 and Wolverine is coming out. I cannot wait for Wolverine, you guys. I cannot wait for Wolverine. That's going to be awesome. So with that said, this has been Geekopedia. Remember, God loves you and I love you too. And remember, be greater together. See you guys.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You should subscribe.